Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you again so much for our time together. We're about to spend a few days looking at one of my favorite books in the Bible. Come with me back to Nehemiah chapter 1, and I want you to notice something about the heart of Nehemiah. The scripture says in verse 4 of chapter 1, "When I heard these things, I sat down and wept. For some days I mourned and fasted and prayed before the Lord, the God of heaven." Then you come over to chapter 2, verse 1, "In the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was brought for him, I took the wine and gave it to the king. I had not been sad in his presence before." Now, I want you to notice a couple of beautiful truths about Nehemiah. Number one, he was a man who was transparent. What you see is what you get. He was not a man of pretense. He had not learned, even though he was very successful, to put on the political show. He was just, this is who I am. And he showed his feelings. He showed his emotions. He was a man who was very real. But maybe even more importantly about Nehemiah, he was a man that never allowed his success to stop his heart from hurting for the needs of other people. I've been your pastor for 37 years. I've watched many people start from nothing and prosper. And I've watched how some people, I don't know what happens to them, but as they prosper, it's almost like they harden their hearts to the needs of the poor. It's almost like they're ashamed of the past. I don't know. I've never quite figured out their heart, but they don't want to feel feelings for those people anymore because maybe they're embarrassed. I don't know. But I do know this. Nehemiah was a man who had come up from nothing. He was a man who was brought into exile. He was a man who was a foreigner who God had raised up and given a beautiful position with his sovereign hand upon his life. But Nehemiah never allowed his success to change his heart toward the needs of others. I would encourage you today, no matter how much God prospers you, no matter how much God blesses you, let your heart stay soft and tender to the needs of other people.